Oh, hey, look, there we are. Hi, everyone. I am Ecdycis. This is Dead Rising. We'll learn more about that in one moment, but hope you all been having a good event so far. I believe it is the, the end of day 2 right now? Yeah. So, I guess before we begin, I'll let my couch introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Nally. I played Dead Rising 4 and other games.
Yeah, so she knows about Dead Rising.
Yes.
For those who do not know, this is the original Dead Rising, or the Steam port. They have like 3 versions of Dead Rising. But this is the Steam one, the original one. I was double checking to make sure we're all good. This is going to be a standard ending A run, or also known as time skip. Speaking of which, actually, give me one moment. I should probably check something first. I hope that doesn't, oh, there's Steam. I just realized something. I forgot to do the important thing. I'm glad I said that out loud. It would have been very bad if I didn't do that. I guess that probably answers the question too, which we'll get more to in a moment, but I think we've had plenty of time here if we're all ready to begin. We're gonna be selecting a new game file, just kind of show off we have different saves. You can get pretty strong in this game. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna be starting from a fresh level 1 file. Time doesn't start now, we'll count it down. There's a little prologue, and normally the way we start is actually going to be when you get control. So we got some cutscenes here, and if we're all ready, how about we count down together, okay? 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, so Dead Rising, what is this? Why are we running it? All that stuff. Well, this is a game where you play as Frank West, photojournalist. You're here to get your scoop, as they say. And we have to survive 72 hours while uncovering the truth. Now, 72 hours is a long time, as you can probably imagine. I think this whole weekend is 72 hours. The in-game days are actually based on real time, which is 2 hours each. So naturally, if you wanted to beat this game, it would be on a 6-hour rail, more or less. It can get lower, but long. It's a very long thing. So we use something called time skip. What time skip is it allows us to remove all the waiting time. So we get all the action, all the gaming, and it's like an actual speedrun. Anyway, we have our intro right here. You see that guy, Brian? He's very important. Say bye to Brian, Nally.
Bye, Brian.
He's,
I'll miss ya.
Yeah, he's dead. Anyway, he's important because you may not know this, but Brian Reynolds, which, yeah, he's here. First off, he's surrounded, but he has a shotgun. And I hope I'm going to be able to get out of this all fine. All right, we're good. But yeah, the shotgun on a new game file is going to be doing a lot of work for some of our early game bosses. Not even bosses, like one boss. And we can kind of look into what the game is. For those of you who never played it casually, Dead Rising is actually very, very, very difficult. You're supposed to kind of replay the game again and again. The game actually lets you continue your progress. So let's say you do a playthrough, you get to like level 20. You can then do a new save, and then you go like, oh wow, I can keep my levels. So New Game Plus is always viable. Also, this is Jeff. Bye, Jeff. Oh wait, bye, Jeff. There's no reason we had to do that. I just thought it'd be kind of funny. Anyway, we're beginning the cases here. This is case 1-1, soon to be 1-2. You can see the case list. This is the main stories and kind of more or less what we're going to be doing the whole time. Dead Rising, funny enough, when you start getting into the actual game, is kind of a series of boss fights. We're going to have a lot of general routing that we'll be doing, but there's also going to be a lot of general bosses. And you may have been noticing, I've been jumping around. It's slightly faster than walking. However, we're not going to be doing this for long. Some people don't like this, but don't worry. This is actually a sports game. It's not a horror game. We are now going to be skateboarding for the majority of the run, actually. We do have some neat caveats here. Also got 2 orange boards. It doesn't matter what color the board is. It can be any color you want. Pick your favorite. But we got 2 orange ones. And you can kind of immediately see how fast we're going in comparison. Obviously, walking is nice, but this whole skateboarding is pretty cool. You know, I'm going to ask, what's the last skateboarding game you played, Nally?
Tony Hawk's Underground 2, which was a very long time ago.
I actually don't know if I played anything outside. No, I played Tony Hawk Underground 2, I think, on the Game Boy Color.
Oh, wow.
I had that when I was a kid. That was the last one I played. I think it's like the only one that's not Dead Rising that I played. So I don't know how accurate it is. You know, skateboarding on grass and water upstairs.
Yep.
Frank's pretty talented. Anyway, this is our first boss. So, Nally, how about I let you break it down for everyone?
Yeah, so this is Carlito 1, which suggests there might be a Carlito 2. Maybe he might come up again. But what we're going to do is take out that shotgun, and it is going to be about 5 shots, and Carlito's going to stay in his little corner. On the other side, we're just going to shoot him once, and that's it.
Good fight. Now, we do have some RNG in the game. I know everyone liked RNG. Hey, we got good RNG. Wow, I'm surprised.
Very nice.
Normally that doesn't happen. Normally we get the opposite of that. With RNG here, there are different upgrades you can get. Before I get into that whole explanation, I made a save right over there because the trick we're about to do can go very, very wrong, and I'm very happy that I made a large estimate. So just keep in mind, I made a savey save. I mean, we could do it right now, but it's slightly faster if I just make it in advance, and, you know, it's called preparation. Anyway, the reason why stock is important is because now I'm going to have more items. Obviously, items are going to be very strong in the early game and in Dead Rising, because the more items you have, the more freedom you have. You can kind of just have more options in general. You grab an Uzi in that fountain. That's going to be a special tool to help us later. The different upgrades you can get for stock, as I was saying, are going to be, well, different upgrades you get in the game are stock, jump kick, zombie ride, and health. We'll be getting all 4 of those, but ideally we want stock as soon as possible. The best route will be stock, zombie ride, jump kick, and then we don't care about health. What we do care about, though, is actually going to be this bike back here. So normally when you're playing Dead Rising, after this mission, they're going to go, okay, go back to the safe house. Except the door we're going to be going to is, like, closed. It's a shutter. So we can't really go that way. We have to go the long way, which requires us to skateboard all the way around. It'll take a long time. But by using the power of speedrunning, so to speak, and I guess extreme sports, we can even say, I guess, the X Games or something. Hey, the GDQ X Games. Anyway, by having very high FPS and going to this corner, we can use something called the bike skip or bike zip. We're simply going to try to line this up right. Taking it nice and slow, because if it goes wrong, I have to do a long walk back. So let's hope it doesn't. Anyway, that's bike zip.
Awesome.
I don't know if the X Games are like that, but I imagine they probably are.
He'll be fine with it.
And we're going to be doing another thing here where I'm now lowering my FPS down to 60. So I was really worried setting up for this because I tried bike zip once and Frank like bounced off every wall imaginable, and he was... The FPS is really high. These are some good computers, which FPS has a lot of impact on the game. Most of it's going to be against you because zombies are more aggressive, enemies are more aggressive, everything is kind of that way. Also, I wonder if it's turn on VSync. It's like a weird line on this. I'll probably, let me turn on VSync. I'll see if that works. We have a generous estimate. Like, getting that skip first try means a very good thing for the rest of the run. It probably means we're going to be able to beat the run without having to get close to that 40-minute estimate. Anyway, we get a cutscene right here. This is time skip in action. If we didn't have this, we'd be waiting a literal hour, which I do not think the, I don't think GDQ would be happy with that.
I can't talk that much.
Exactly. Maybe not. Good time for donations right there, but...
Is it a good time right now?
Let me do one thing, and then we'll be good, because we're actually going right into our next boss. This is going to be, well, I mean, we said earlier we had Carlito 1. Guess what comes after 1?
Is it 2?
It is 2.
Ah,
and this is a massive run killer and one of the toughest bits. I would actually like to tell you about this myself here. So Carlito 2, he is upgraded. He didn't like the last fight, so he now has a sniper rifle that will do over half my health in one hit. That's very bad. So we're gonna play this not very safe, but kind of safe. All right, just making sure I'm good. I got bad RNG. I'm very glad I played it safe. Okay, so you can see all my health loss. That's fine. I'm gonna take that SMG I got, and we're just gonna kind of rhythmically tap him. And this is going to keep him infinitely stunned, and it's a very fast strategy for this. The old strat was actually using a hockey stick to pelt him from safety, but you can see how fast that is. And hey, look, he's dead. All right, so now how about we get like 2 donations really quick, just so we can have them read, and then I'll kind of go into the next strat after that.
Alrighty, well, I do want to touch on something that Ecdycis was saying here, where this estimate is probably generous. So the 32 minutes in between now and the end of the estimate is actually less than that. We need to raise $995 to get that true final boss, or the secret final boss fight here. So the time to do this is running very, very short, but I do want to give a shout out to one donation that got us well along our way, and that is a $300 donation. And this one was provided by the GDQX merch table. And they said, hi, TwitchCon attendees and GDQ fans. This donation was made possible by the sales of GDQ merch provided to us by Fangamer. If you're at TwitchCon, stop by the speedrun stage before the end of the weekend to pick up some merch and support World Central Kitchen. Thank you very, very much for that.
All right. So right now, this is probably one of the toughest bosses in the game. This is the Convicts. By lowering our FPS down lower to 60, we actually have manipulation right here. You're going to have a cool song. We're actually mostly skipping that with how fast we're killing them. We're going to take out the gunner almost immediately, kind of shoot him in the head. That's now going to open up the turret on the back. And then we're just going to grab that. And all right, the Convicts are now dead and we've stolen their truck.
Very nice.
Yeah, and now we know about fair trades here, you know, like the exchange of goods. Nally, what do you think this convict on the back is worth?
I would say, I don't know, a honey bun, a whole gun.
Well, hey, I'm glad you said that because he is worth the whole gun. Look, it's back. He turned into a gun. I don't know how it happened. He just magically back. All right, so we got life. I don't remember if we got zombie ride or jump kick, but this would be a pretty good test right now as you check here. Also, I'm hoping to get a skateboard. That'll be good luck. No, I got a saw blade. That's bad luck. All right, I have zombie ride. That's probably good. Don't bunk into that. I have a zombie ride. So zombie ride is going to be nice. It's an ability that sometimes works, but it's kind of safe here. We don't really need jump kick, although it is nice. And now we can get something where I can blatantly lie to you, or I can just tell you what's going to happen. Which would you prefer?
Speak the truth.
Speak the truth? Okay, so normally I would say this boss is very hard, but it's not going to be very hard. If you like Steven, I apologize. This might be one of the fastest bosses in the game. Normally he is tough. You know, he has a shotgun, he has a shopping cart, and he can be pretty brutal on the stun locking. But we have this massive gun that I just used to mow down the 3 convicts. And I'm taking it to the boss fight, so you can probably guess what's going to happen. NallyQ, you like to commentate the fight.
Yep.
Do it very fast, very fast.
What we're going to do is shoot.
All right, good job, he's dead. Yeah, so that gun's pretty busted. It's supposed to be a reward from getting the convicts, and they don't normally want you keeping it. It's like a 2-handed weapon for one, so you can't use it long. And then also, you have the fact that it has limited ammo, and you can only get it once from the well, not once every convict spawn, I should say. So that kind of works in our favor. Anyway, right now, we got the medicine. You can't forget that. If you do, it's really sad because you have to walk all the way back here. The literal walk is shame. Luckily for us, we don't have to. And I do want to say one more thing before we get to some fun donations. Right now, we got really lucky. So I currently have 2 boards, one of them with full health, one of them with partial health. And this is going to be pretty good because that means the rest of the boarding in this game might be smooth. In fact, this has been a really nice run. So feel free to throw some donations. How about I'll tell you when to stop, I guess.
Okay, sounds good. Want to give you an update on that milestone. We are now less than $900 away. So, but we've got, you know, at the most, maybe about 20 or so minutes, 25 minutes to get that done. So let's get that in. I got a lot of folks bringing in anonymous donations. I appreciate that. I do have one here from Shar. It's a $50 donation that simply says, let's meet that goal.
Yeah, you can go.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about the bid war for the file names for the Link to the Past race that's happening tomorrow morning. DKYA is still in the lead with $90. Zeld has jumped into second place with $50. Remember, we're taking the top 2 there because it's a race, so each racer will use one. Other choices you have here currently are CJYA and Hype. Both of those have $30. And then we also have Dog, DK, and L182. Those each have $5. Now, remember for these bid wars, because you're naming, if you would like to create a name and add it into the list, you can do that as well, or donate toward one that is already established. It is your choice. Make sure you apply it correctly when you use that !donate command in chat to pull up the links that you need to make your donation and apply your incentives.
I just realized I threw out the shotgun.
Did you?
Maybe I did. Maybe that estimate might be more in danger, not in danger, but close to the estimate than I thought. So good news there.
Well, I did get that. I did get that donation that came through that got us closer. It's an anonymous $100 donation that says, "More Dead Rising, more GDQ."
Well, you're getting more Dead Risings. I accidentally forgot one of the weapons I need.
Okay, well there you go.
But it's not. We have a backup. It's a simple backup. But yeah, no, I was supposed to keep that shotgun. I'm not sure. My muscle memory kind of threw it out. I was making a save just in case. So right now we are girl hunting. We jumped a bunch of cases forward. A lot of cases in this game are, oh, just be back here on time. So like case 3 is, all right, make sure you're here. Case 4 is make sure you're here. Since we're there and time's moving forward, we don't have to worry too much. So, oh my God, game. Can you like be cool? All right, there we go. I'm on a different controller than I normally am, so some of the turns I'm making are a little bit awkward. All right, anyway, here's the Colts. We're going to ignore them and just run away. Say goodbye to Jennifer. She's gone.
Bye, Jennifer.
So one of the downsides is I threw away the shotgun. Luckily, you know what? This is a fun little trick here, and this works in both the Deluxe Remaster and this version of the game, really all of them. There's a lot of SMGs hidden around the map. Every area probably has one somewhere, and they're rather well hidden. And if you do not know, there's one in this tree over here, and that's going to be our backup weapon. Normally, you'd use the shotgun. We also have a lot of fun strats. Honestly, I think we're only losing out on like one fight, so it's not the end of the world. So just a lot. Now look, free gun. Wait, where did my board together? Okay. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to use that SMG instead of the shotgun. That's going to be an awkward fight. That's why I made the save, just in case. But luckily, we only need it for this one fight. So, believe it or not, the next fight is not Carlito 3. I know that naturally seems like it might be, but this next fight is going to be Isabella, the sister of Carlito. So, I guess in a way you can say Carlito 3, but related to Carlito 3. This fight normally is rather tough in some ways because she's going to be driving on a motorcycle and just doing donuts. It'd be kind of cool, but, you know, she's going to try to run us over, which is bad. Normally, you would keep swapping on the shotgun, trying to keep popping or get some quick damage, but I don't have the shotgun. So we're going to be using the Uzi instead, and it's pretty simple. You just jump over every time. Just makes the fight a little bit longer. It's kind of funny. You think that I don't think this actually works. Like if I were to, you know, have to face a motorcycle, I think the worst way to dodge it is by jumping over it directly. But it's kind of funny because you can fight Isabella pretty much with any object if you want to. I've done a lot of different methods of hitting Isabella like this, and they're all awful. I just want to remember that. I think I've beaten her with like a bucket of paint once, and it was horrible. Anyway, Isabella is now down. There is that fight. We're also going to have the game bug out a little bit. That is going immediately to midnight because the next mission is right over here at the stroke of midnight, and the game just lurched forward in time as we're talking about.
I want to pop in here with an update here. We now need only $700 to see that secret boss fight. We are getting closer, folks, but the window of time to make your donations is closing fast, so let's get those in now, please.
Alrighty, so we're gonna have a fun time here. This is, once again, Isabella, but now she's our friend. You know, when you knock someone off a motorcycle, apparently they really like you at that point. Also, hold on a minute, I'm not doing that again. There we go. So we're gonna carry Isabella. She is injured, Carlito shot her. Carlito wasn't very happy with the performance in that fight, and now we're carrying Isabella back to the safe house. This is probably one of the most chill parts of the run. You just simply carry her back. We do have Kindle there, who would have a shotgun if I ran out, but I don't have a way of taking the shotgun. So also, we don't really need it at this point. We don't really need a gun till the very end, but we'll have a nice refresh there. So this is probably the best time for donations. If you have them, you can just rattle them off or just walk on her back.
Sounds good. Like I said, I've still got a lot of anonymous donations here. Love all you for doing that. We do have a $25 donation here from Captain, no comment there. $50 donation from Miller Queen, no comment there either, but thank you for those. And then we got a $100 donation from Crystal OR, who says, what an amazing weekend this has been so far. Good luck, GDQ and WCK.
Yeah. You know, I'll give an update really quick as well, because we haven't really talked about what that secret final boss is. I worked with GDQ here. Normally, once you beat the game, there was an overtime mode. Unfortunately, due to time restraints, you won't be able to see all of the overtime mode, but I absolutely made a bid saying, hey, can we get that final boss? Because the final boss has a very unique strat in how you defeat them, and if you've never seen it, it's something very special that I don't think you can see in any other game for the most part. And then you also get like the game's true endings. This is like the main game, ending A. It would be like the ending S, the overtime ending, as you will. Anyway, feel free to go ahead.
Well, yeah, I actually want to do an update on the bid war for the file names for the Link to the Past run tomorrow, because that's heating up and we got some movement there. We have a new leader. It is Zim, Z-I-M, is in the lead with $100, and now in second place is Zeld with $95. DKYA just behind at $90. Remember, we take the top two, so if you want DKYA to jump back in there, or any of the other names, or maybe a name of your own creation, you can go ahead and get that on in there so that you can see the file name of your choice for that run, or that race, I should say, tomorrow morning. You know, and something else I want to mention here, for those of you that are used to watching mainline GDQs, you know they typically have like a horror block of games together. Well, this one game here, this is our horror block. So if you're really looking for a nice long horror block, the only way you're really going to extend this is getting us to that $20,000. We have $635 left to get there. We are creeping closer, but so is the end of this run. So which is gonna get there first, 20K or time? Only the donors can decide.
All right, so now the action is amped up. We are on Bomb Collector. Carlito got really mad at the first two fights and decided the best way to fight us is by putting a bunch of bombs inside of the mall. They're all in the parking garage. We need to drive around while he is trying to run us over. You know, funny enough, I ran this game at another GDQ event. I think it was AGQ 2022. And Carlito absolutely went wild, and I think he hit me repeatedly. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but yeah, NallyQ, if you'd like to kind of explain how we're driving, what we're doing, feel free to go for that.
Yep, so we're going in a very specific direction. Basically, we're going farthest to closest when it comes to the exit. We're collecting 5 bombs, I believe. Carlito is driving around in his own truck, doing his own thing. But what we're going to be doing is taking these bombs and collecting them in our car and driving off. Because we want to go furthest to closest, we just want to make sure that we're not spending or wasting time going too far out of the way to collect these bombs, because there is actually a bomb that is closest to the exit.
I also want to add that Carlito absolutely, you know, you can fight him. He's a boss fight right now. This section just ends, you know, as long as you get the bombs. Killing Carlito here just kind of gets rid of them so you don't get hit repeatedly. Oh yeah, he's also throwing pipe bombs at us. Well, he would if he got closer, but we're going pretty fast.
Okay, I'm gonna pop in here with another update, excuse me. Less than $400 is what we need now for that 20K milestone. We're getting super close, but we still got to get across that finish line. We have another update here as far as the bid war for the file names for Link to the Past tomorrow. We have a new leader now. It is Zeld, who has $170. Zim is in second place with 100. So you want to heat that up, get us to the 20K along with it. I think that's a fantastic idea.
All right, so right now we're at 3 of 4 bombs. This one tends to be the most awkward one. Something we haven't really talked much about is, while I've been driving, I've been trying to keep a special eye on the car damage. You want to do this within one car. You don't want to have to grab another one, which, Carlito, what are you doing? All right, I guess we're good.
He's doing his best.
I mean, hey, at least he didn't try ramming me on the 4th. Is it the 5th bomb? Wait, it was the next bomb. There's no way he does it twice. There's no way he does it again. Right?
No, I think we're good.
I hope we're good. I swear he's gonna. Hold on a second here. I don't see those lights. Okay, looks like we're good. He's trying. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Nice.
Yeah, we got all the bombs. Watching over the car health. Ideally, I don't want it to break on me. If it does, I have to walk out. Which, hey, we're golden. And that is Bomb Collector. Also, funny enough, you may recognize this song. It's the Convict song again. They've somehow come back to life. We're going to entirely ignore them because once we complete jamming device, the current case, they're just going to vanish. I guess they get bored within the span of 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, like however long it takes me to get to the safe house. In fact, where are the comics? I already know where they went. I just hear their music. They just wanted to share their favorite song.
I guess so.
Gone Guru.
Here's my playlist, yeah.
It's a good song. Although, you know what no one talks about? The part with the party robot. There's like a whole extra verse that nobody talks about. It's like a minute and a half. Anyway, we're just going back to the safe house right now. The next mission is going to be pretty chill. It's kind of like the calm before the storm because we're going to be doing some setup and we'll have some pretty neat tricks in a otherwise, like, let's say auto-scrollery section. But I will say, if you have anything you would like to read right now, you can go for it.
Oh, I've got plenty of donations because y'all have been making this happen here. $50 from Myra Maines that says, first time watching live. Much love from Canada to GDQ, Ecdycis, and chat. $50 from Glord that says, this game looks hilarious, so show us more. We've got a $25 donation from Zentari777 who says, selfishly donating towards the name incentive for Link to the Past. Let's hit 20K and see more Dead Rising. One of the best zombie games of all time, and it's being crushed by Ecdycis.
Yeah, so this room's been really good so far. Also, Isabella's all better. You know, she walked off the gunshot. And now she's going to show us her secret lair, or her safe house. This section is normally one of the speedrunner banes. It's an escort quest, which obviously nobody really likes escort quests a lot of the time. Also, we have to escort Isabella, and Isabella's very angry. She's going to attack everything. Normally, survivors in this game are kind of dumb. They'll just sort of get eaten by all the zombies. The game didn't want you... Oh, wow, that was actually really lucky. The game didn't want you feeling that way about Isabella, so the opposite happens, where if she sees a zombie, she's just going to murder them. Most of this section is going to be dedicated to trying to have Isabella not do that. Because if Isabella's doing that, I can't make it forward. So, right now, there's a bunch of zombies, also known as, I guess, Isabella's collection. But we're going to bypass that. Also, I got very unlucky earlier. I forgot to mention the stock upgrades, because I could have had another one, but I didn't get it. So we have to go with 2 boards, which means the boarding coming up is going to be a bit risky. Now, I'm going this way for a very specific reason. This wall is very cool. But you know what's cooler? Isabella not attacking things. By going as far away as possible, I have physically despawned the zombies in Isabella's warpath. I'm going to wait for her to hit about my foot. Once that happens, I can now go. If I do this right, Isabella had just a clean shot, no zombies in sight, and she can just go from point A to point B. So while it is kind of an auto-scroller in a way, Isabella can just go right to the exit every time. Now, depending on when you leave, depends on how confident you are. If you really want to be like bold, you can leave earlier, or you can take less wide turns. But in this case, I'm trying to get as far away from Isabella as possible. It's actually going to be weird because we're taking this long detour. Like, where we're going is just the stairs on the right, which is not the direction I'm going. But like I said, Isabella needs to go there. So I'm going to go as far away as possible, let her do her thing. And if you would like to do your thing, you can read some donations.
I was going to say, detour sounds like donations to me, yes. Okay, again, an update. $335 is all we need in the next, what, about 10 or so minutes to get this going? So that window is closing at a very rapid rate. Get your donations in now, like this one from Aba300, who donates $25 and says, for my boy Ecdycis, donating fast to get that incentive. We have a $15 donation from Donk Davis, who says W, TwitchCon, GDQ, Ecdycis, and speedruns. And we also have a $150 donation from Metal Michael. That one has no comment, but I believe that was applied toward one of the file names here for the Link to the Past race tomorrow morning. We now have a new name in the top 2. Zeld is still leading with 170. Meow has entered the chat. They are at 150, trailed most closely by DK at 105. So if you want to get all of that going, make sure to get your donations in. Use the donate command in chat, apply towards the appropriate incentive, and let's get to 20K real fast.
All right, so let's talk about some things I just did there. For one, Isabella is now in the most awkward spot. This is the North Plaza, and normally it's a bit tougher to kind of do the Isabella manip. Also, she's running really fast. Wait, hold on. She's actually running really quick. Never mind. Apparently she locked in. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait right here, but I use the queen to get rid of zombies in that hallway. I'm running in this specific area. So if I do this, Isabella will hopefully keep running down that hallway. We don't have as much range to work with. It looks like she is still going. I also picked up a couple of shotguns. I threw out my old board. It looks like Isabella's perfectly there. And if I did this right, she'd be right at her hideout. No issues. Yeah, no, it looks like we got it perfectly. That was
Very
perfect
clean.
Isabella manip. I could have played it a little bit more risky, I think. But as you can see, Isabella's warpath was, you know what? It was Isabella's joy path. She didn't hurt anything. She was very nice, actually.
You know what else brings me joy? Announcing that we are now $235 away from this milestone, thanks to a $100 donation from Bats with no comment. But thank you very much. That has closed the gap, but we're still not there yet. Let's get those donations in, folks.
All right, so after Isabella's section, we're now going to be going back to the safe house. This section actually does get a bit riskier, especially since I'm getting really bad zombie RNG. They're grabbing me like mad. If I got something earlier that was stock 2, the second stock upgrade, we're actually capped out at the full level we're going to be getting for the whole run, level 7. And I did not gamble properly here. I did not get the RNG I wanted. So we're going to play a little bit safe, but if I did get stock 2, I would have another inventory slot. And we talked about how important that was earlier. If I had that, I would now have 2 skateboards. Having 2 skateboards is actually a game changer at this point because it means I can use all of the durability of one, and then the second one, I can do the same thing. I only need those 2 boards, but I have to make do with one, so I'd be a lot more careful. Ideally, we don't want this breaking, so I'll be hopping off the board a lot more. I believe we just hit it, didn't we?
We sure did. We have raised over $20,000 for World Central Kitchen.
Awesome.
Thank you all very, very much for that. And we get to see that secret final boss fight.
All right, thank you all for contributing to the good cause. And we get to see a pretty cool boss with that, and I think it's a nice way to, send off the day there. Luckily, that's at the end of the run, so it'll be a nice little setup there. But right now, we're actually hitting the final boss, believe it or not. The run doesn't end on the final boss, but we've done a lot of setups. I kind of mentioned earlier how important shotguns are, and I also mentioned that we're capped out at level 7. So we're not going to get any higher than level 7. I mean, Talon will hit level 9, but that's because, when you kill the final boss, he gives you like 2 levels because he's that important. But I grabbed 2 shotguns. The 2 shotguns are going to be a very special tool for this boss, and this guy has a lot of health. Everybody meet Larry. Nally, do you have any opinions on Larry?
Honestly, I love Larry. He's probably my favorite boss in the game.
You like him more than Carlito too?
I mean, I think Carlito kind of pushed it being too ambitious, having a Carlito 3. So I like Larry a little bit more.
Well, there's actually something kind of funny about Larry. And I don't know if you remembered this, but if I told you Larry's actually Carlito 4?
Oh, I do remember that, the cutscene.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Talking out loud, I just realized that in the speedrun, we just sort of beat up Carlito 4 times. And then we beat up the sibling of Carlito.
Can I read that donation that closed?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
I've got you. It's a donation from the convicts, and it's for $250.
Okay.
And it simply says, "Party robot. Now my head can spin. I'll be around in a million years. Let the party begin."
Hey.
Party robot! I'm telling you, you gotta listen to Gonguru. Like, this game only plays 3 minutes. There's an extra 2 minutes dedicated to the party robot.
It's great.
I actually listened on the drive down here. We did.
Yeah.
Anyway, going to Carlito 4, also known as Larry. Also, this car is trying. He is going to be in the butcher shop, which is a natural place for the butcher to be. And normally this fight's actually really tough. I kind of mentioned earlier how Carlito can do half your health. Larry, with our improved health, can also do half your health. But Larry has something really cool here. In fact, he has 2 cool things. Cool thing number 1, he won't attack you. You're a customer. He's not a villain.
Friend, yeah.
The second one, I think I can do this because I found this out very recently. Actually, I hope I can. Imagine I choke because I decided to show off something. Yeah, no, we got it. Anyway, actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. I may have, you know what? It'll be funny, and it'll be, I made a save. You can put a bucket on his head. That did nothing. In fact, that was actually really detrimental because now I need to get my board back and Larry's going to be a menace. And he's also going to be throwing that at me, which will do all of my health. But we're going to play safe behind the meat, and this controller will be awkward, so I can't do it as fast as I would like. Where there he is. I was like, where is he? We're just going to keep kind of swapping back and forth to remove the little animation there. And we're doing a lot of damage on Larry, but he does take about 2 full shotguns to kill, and Larry's down.
Awesome.
You know who else is down?
Who's that?
It's Carlito.
Oh,
There he is.
poor Carlito.
Good. Yeah, now we're level 9. We get an extra. Hey, look, there's that stock upgrade. And we're almost at the end of the run. All we have to do now is complete memories and the facts. These are more or less just sort of do the ending requirements, which one was kind of funny because you think it would be hard because the military spawns in, but, you know, the military's mostly waiting, and we're currently doing something that's very anti-waiting with the mod. So the best strategy would be just waiting the whole time. Although I do want to mention, if you're not doing the modded speedrun and you actually do want to pass time, when the military spawns, you can die in the game, and then it will put you as a kidnapped Frank on the helicopter, which you will then pass time in game. And that's the only real speed tech in the unmodded version. And it's kind of goofy because you just sort of keep failing the QTE and then they hit you until like the helicopter comes. Luckily for us, we don't have to worry about that. We're just going to have a bunch of cutscenes that we're going to be skipping. And yeah, I think we've been making very good time on this run. It wasn't the cleanest run. Admittedly, I forgot the shotgun on accident. And I'm just happy that it went well. I was kind of worried with the high FPS that bike zip was going to be a problem. But we're at the home stretch. If you have a final donation or two you'd like to read, how about we get some?
I sure do. I got a $5 donation from Smoky Shrimp Wizard, who says, glad to see Ecdycis is delivering spooky season to GDQ. Let's hit that milestone, and hit that milestone we have. And then we have another donation from the convicts. It's a $25 donation that says, someone left the front door open. We're just gonna go.
So now the military is taking care of all the zombies. They're all gone. All that's left is the, heading on home. Frank has to get to a helicopter. The game is also going to be kind of broken because like, oh, you have 2 hours left. Time really lurched forward. And you're doing like a full ending S run, quote unquote. You'd actually need to pause the game and unpause it because the game bugs out in certain ways. Like there's a certain place you can stand where Frank will be bald. It's kind of, I wonder if I could show it off. Technically, we are underestimate still. I've had a pretty generous estimate and a pretty nice run. Now, let me see if it's active right now. It'd be funny if it is. For no other reason than you can show Frank just magically, growing and losing his hair. Yeah, no, it's active. I can see. See, the textures are kind of off. Yep. And if you stand right here, he just sort of loses his hair very quickly. I'm trying to see if I can stand. There we go. Yeah, let's see if you just. He's half bald, half not. He's chopped, as they say. Oh God, that's an awful haircut. And, yeah, that didn't do anything. I just thought it'd be funny. Time's actually be ending in a moment. Once we get back in the safe house, that'll be time. We have about maybe 2 rooms to go. And I can't wait to play on my usual controller again. The problem is, though, I don't think I can get a PS3 controller working on the GDQ computers. Understandably, it's kind of a pain. Anyway, with that being said, it is time.
This feels like a very appropriate time to pop in with a $100 donation from DJ Crab Hat that simply says, great run, Ecdycis.
Hey, well, thank you. Yeah, you see Frank, he's on the rooftop. He's apparently not getting that ride he wanted. That's not a good way to send him off. He's all alone. Poor Frank. I figure since we did go underestimate here, I'm pretty sure we still have time, I think. I guess GDQ can tell me if we don't. We probably watch this cutscene while we talk little bits. I've been running Dead Rising for quite a while. Also, look, there's Frank's ride. He's there the whole time. See? He was safe. But yeah, I always do love showing up Dead Rising and running Dead Rising. I've done, I think, almost every Dead Rising game on GDQ at one point or another. I've done 1, 2, Deluxe Remaster. I did 3. I'm a big fan of the franchise, and I always do love running it. So it was nice being able to actually be able to show this off again. And the original game, it's one of the earliest games I ever sped ran, and it's always an honor to be able to show this off. Obviously, we still do have that incentive, so we'll obviously do more of the official closeouts there. But as I did want to say that now while we're waiting for this cutscene. Look, Frank got his ride. Yeah, surely nothing bad will happen. It's a Capcom game. That's a helicopter. I'm sure it'll be great. And see, look, it's right there. Hey, hey, hey. What do you think's gonna happen, Nally?
You know, everything's gonna go smooth. It's gonna pick up Frank. They're gonna go home, go on vacation. What could go wrong?
Oh, he has a co-pilot. Also, I like how Frank's just grabbing a picture of him. I mean, I guess you can't really help him, can you? Oh no, the helicopter. Wait, no, stop, don't. Boom. Oh my God. Do you think he lived that?
Is the helicopter okay?
Yeah, I don't think it is. You know what's actually the worst part? Frank chartered that helicopter. He's gonna have to pay for it. Hey, luckily, you know, maybe Frank has an extra 20K lying around. Luckily, people generously donated. Maybe Frank a new helicopter.
True.
So right now, you'd be going into overtime, which we don't have enough time, unfortunately, to show off all of overtime. You find out Frank is zombified. He's not doing so hot, and you would have these requirements to grab all these things. Unfortunately, you know, with the time allotted at the event, we don't have time for all of this. However, we do have a really nice way to set this up. I guess we could restart the timer. I think it's gonna be like 5 minutes or so. But just kind of give a general idea once again. What you'd have to do is you'd have to gather supplies for Isabella to make a cure. This cure would end up being honestly kind of monstrous. In the speed run, you do a trick where you jam 10 wooden boards into Frank's body in a syringe. And at that point, you would then be going into the final tunnel, and then you would be at the, you know, the final boss once you get to the end of the tunnel. So what I did is prior to this event, I made a nice little save. I actually have two of them, one at the beginning of overtime and one right here. And just to kind of show it off, you can see this is level 9, 211,000 experience right there. That is the lowest possible amount of experience you can have at this point. You can't get any higher than that. Or any lower than that. You can get it higher. You see a level 50, you can't get higher, level 50. But you can see this is the beginning of overtime on this file up here. In fact, I'll just load that into kind of, you know, the showing of the hands as they do. I'll just kind of load it in. You'll see, oh, hey, look, there's overtime, same position, same stuff. We don't have a whole lot of resources. We have pretty much nothing, level 9. This file is also a speedrun community made file, so it does do that. And offline, I made this file going up to where the final boss would be. So I guess this is kind of more of a general showcase, just to kind of show you how we do it. Anyway, we can start time in a moment, and we'll kind of go from what the end would be, just right for the boss. See, we're here, Isabella's right there. And if we're all ready, I can unpause it, then we can say time begins. So how about we count down together, all right? All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so at this point in the game, you know, you're trying to escape. That helicopter actually opened up a special tunnel that leads to like a quarry. There's a random quarry next to this mall. I don't understand why. But we have this special drink. It's blue, a delicious blue drink. What do you think's in it?
Blue.
Blue? Actually, you know what? I know what's in it. It's vile. I made this drink. We made a video.
Yep.
I blended a taco and a beer together, and it was vile. Don't do that. I made this. It's called, well, you'll learn what it's called. But don't do that. Trust me, it's not as good as it sounds. I don't think it sounds good, but you're probably smart by thinking that. Anyway, it's not part of the commentary. I just want to plug I made a mixed drinks video, because there's a lot of mixed drinks. That is Spitfire. Spitfire is going to, well, let you spit fire. Right now, we are level 9. I mentioned this level cap. We're going to be entering this Humvee, and there's actually 2 fights. Fight number 1 is going to be against a tank. I'm actually going to be swapping over to a mouse here. And we're going to be shooting the sensors on this tank. You're not breaking the tank, because this is a gun. I don't think you can do that with a tank. Maybe some guns can, and not this gun. You're breaking the sensor so it stops working. But let's go back to what I said for a second. Mixed drinks. what did I do, what did I make, and why is it here? Normally, you can combine a bunch of things, like you can combine chippies and chippies, or like popsicles and popsicles, which is definitely better than a taco and a beer. I really want to exemplify, don't try it. It's not good. But when you hit the final boss of this game, they're expecting you to be like level 30, level 20. The game, wait, there we go. The game will take away all of your resources so you don't enter with any items, no health, only what you have. If I'm entering with 6 blocks of health and I'm entering with no items, obviously I'm probably going to die. Frank's not really dealing any damage. But what happens is you may notice in that bottom right, it says Spitfire. Which all I can really say is I'll let the game speak for itself once we have beaten this, let's say, boss number 1. Also, a little bit of RNG here on how the tank moves. Usually you defeat it around the same time. You actually can do this without taking damage. Like, you can shoot the top of this like this. It's cool if you do it. Prevents you from getting shot, but obviously it's faster just to keep shooting it. But if also wasn't apparent story-wise, we have been fighting the military general. He's been doing the cleanup operation. It's that bald guy. Not the type of bald that Frank is, but like a good bald. Anyway, here he is. He's going to be very amazed, and I think we have time, so I just want... What? Does he do the thing? We won't watch it. We'll play it safe. Anyway, all I can really say is this is how we beat the boss. We're going to spit on him until he dies. $20,000 so we can spit on a man to death. We're going to be hitting his knees because that's the most bloody part of the body, apparently. If spit hits the knees in the right point, yeah, no, blood just comes gushing out. Which, yeah, look, it's all right there. Frank's also some kind of lizard. I don't know how he manages this. And also, he'll try to kick us in the head. And a couple more hits and we're good. I want to keep on this low bit so he doesn't keep punching me. And he's dead. Time.
GG.
And he dies with a smile on his face after being spat on by a 36-year-old man. Look, there he goes. God, can you just imagine that? And we get to watch the true ending. This is what it would be for the true ending. You normally just wrap that in, but it's always too good to pass up. I know GDQ loves the spit. I mean, well, what games can you play where you spit on a man until he dies? And while I have some last words for you, I think Frank also has some for you. Oh, yeah, look, see, she's looking right at Frank. What do you think Frank has to say, Nally? Some very insightful comments about
Honestly,
what we just did?
I think it's going to be pure poetry.
Pure poetry, huh?
Yep.
Well, let's hear what he says.
Okay.
After he spat on a man to death.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Anyway, I have been Ecdycis. I speedrun a lot of horror games. I speedrun a bunch of them. I love Dead Rising as a franchise, and I hope you enjoyed this run of Dead Rising. Once again, thank you for NallyQ for being on my couch. I guess you can check us out on our various social medias and all that, but otherwise, thank you for watching both Dead Rising and GDQ, and